What up, y'all? It is your girl Tay, also known as Tayzway. I know y'all like, hey, because I have been gone for a minute, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk on the situation as far as the civil unrest related to the death, the heinous murder of George Floyd. So I've been trying to figure out how I want to do this video for days now, and then right on down to today I've been trying to figure out how I want to do it for hours. And I have recorded 5 separate videos and deleted all 5 because I'm in the military. Though I do not represent their views, these are my personal views on this situation. I wanted to find a way to be brutally honest, to be able to have a voice, but also not give someone ammo to use it against me. We all know that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and people would love nothing but to take what you say out of context and run. But I have had personal experiences with supervision, so to speak, or people that outrank me and racist actions. Now, this isn't to say that the military hasn't evolved. I have been in a very long time, and if I told some of y'all, y'all be like, what? But I've been in a long time, and I watch the different agencies, the different systems. I've watched them evolve with time, but because of my past, it's almost like I'm still not ready to have that moment where I put my fate in their hands, right? Because back in the day, we used to talk about the good old boy system, and it still exists to a certain extent. To be quite frank with you, racism is considered systemic for a reason. So if you think all of the system is rid of racism, or certain parts of it has been rid of racism, it's not true. So the military as a whole has a zero tolerance policy on racism. However, you know, we still have a few people that slip through the cracks. Again, there are agencies in place. You have things like the Inspector General, you have equal opportunity, you have mental health. There are so many agencies you can go to if you feel like you are having those issues. You got first sergeants, and some may be your direct supervisor. Just depends on the relationship you have and the culture of your unit. But I have been in many situations to where I've experienced it, but because I've been going through it all my life, even as a kid, you condition to kind of operate in a fight or flight mode. Like, just keep your head tucked down, do your time, and move on. If it's not like a blatant act of racism that everyone can see, you are conditioned to believe that nobody will believe you anyway. You hear that from the racists themselves, and you also hear it from your black counterparts, because we all been under the same programming and conditioning. And I'm not saying the military is or is not programming and conditioning us. I'm just saying in general, we are taught from a very young age not to do too much. So I've had instances where I didn't speak out. One instance as early as a few years ago, to be quite honest. I won't be too specific because I don't want anybody to try to, you know, do anything, but I have witnesses of this incident, and people for years to this day still, like, not fussed at me, but kind of got after me because I didn't take action against the person. And I think what hit me the hardest was once I left that duty station, I found out from other people that this individual, it wasn't a whole team of people, at least not to my knowledge, but this individual had an issue with all the black women in the unit, but all of us were silently fighting the battle. We didn't even talk to each other about it because you're so paranoid that people are going to use it against you. But when I left, people kind of started reaching out to me, asking me questions like, hey, how was it being under such and such? And I was like, well, now that I'm gone, how much detail you really want? Like, do you want me to give you the truth, or are you looking for something specific? And long story short, I found out that different black women, different ranks, different walks of life, all had the same problem with the same person. Backstory on this person: he was bitter, let him tell it a black female had done him wrong, so in his eyes, I guess we were all hurt. And I was miserable. I was at that unit for a significant amount of time, but I was miserable for probably like my last year and a half there. Like I legit was like, I think I am like, it was a really sad moment. And the only thing that kept me together was I had to be tough for other people. And I think that we as a people do that a lot. Like we push our own feelings to the side. We push injustices to the side because we feel like we need to be strong for other people. But at some point you have to take care of yourself. So since this whole incident with Mr. Floyd, I probably had like one day where I didn't where I didn't cry, right? This is technically my second day because I haven't cried yet. But I felt guilty because in that moment I realized that for a year and a half, even though I was also experiencing the racism, I was part of the problem, because every time you let something like that slide, or you just, you know, you do nothing about it, even if it's happening to you, it's like you lay another brick in the road of complacency. And I feel like little things like that led up to that officer feeling comfortable enough to murder Mr. Floyd in the heinous way that he did, without remorse, without anything, any type of regard for not just Mr. Floyd, but the people witnessing. And then it started to remind me of, I don't know how much history anybody knows, how they used to do the slaves back in the day, when they would tar and feather and do all sorts of terrible things. You know, I'm not gonna get into detail, but they would do it as a display in front of the other slaves to scare them out of fighting back, to scare them out of running away, to scare them out of assembling, to scare them out of being anything other than docile and submissive. So I feel like it's turning into a modern day version of that, and it's really pissing me off, right? So like I said, I have recorded quite a few videos, and I don't want this to be super long because I'm pissed and I'm hurt and I'm sad and I'm scared for the children. That's where I'm at with the situation. But it's a lot of stuff going around nowadays, right? And if y'all want me to actually go into the detail of some of the things I've experienced, let me know down below, but I don't want to do that today. I want to try to put something positive out there in a time where it's so easy to focus on the negativity. Because if you think this is just about Mr. Floyd, you are way off. We're still upset about Sandra Bland. We're still upset about Emmett Till. We're still upset about Philando Castile. Like, it's so many people. Today was Breonna Taylor's birthday. She would have been 27. She was an EMT, and don't hold on. She was an EMT, an essential employee, not a violent offender, nothing. Not that it would be justified, but you know, those are the things that people like to do in order to dehumanize Black victims. They try to dig up all the old dirt that they can, so it looks like, oh, it's okay, this was a bad one, right? Because you know, Black people, they like to say we got bad ones and we got good ones, right? So we're not crying today, y'all. I said that to say this. I feel like for years I've walked with my head down. I've watered down my personality because you can't be too much as a Black woman for some people, or they'll try to tear you down. Like, I've literally had people not like me for no reason. Like, because I was being successful in relationships, not romantic, but just like maybe working relationships or pursuing certain goals and being successful without being cutthroat, without kissing butt, and just off my genuine ambition and work ethic alone, that caused people to come after me. So I would water myself down, and I wouldn't try as hard because I felt like if I made them comfortable, they would leave me alone. So today I decided, instead of being part of the problem, right? Because I still should have spoke up. And I don't know, maybe I did what I was supposed to do in the moment I did it, or didn't do it, or whatever. But I want to be part of the solution today. So I'm not going to get on here and do an angry video I'm about to go running after this. I need to get this energy out like I can today. But I'm going to post the information in this video for maybe people who are in my situation, because I want to go out and protest, but I also want to make sure I don't get in any trouble or violate any rules, especially with the COVID going on and things of that nature. So what I am going to do is give you information for stuff that you can do from home, right? So I'm going to give you all of the information for the bail bondsmen and whatnot for the Black Lives Matter protesters, or just civil rights protesters. That's what we're going to call them. I'm going to post all that in the video. I also have a petition that I'm going to link down below for Breonna Taylor. Her case has already been reopened, but we're going to keep signing that petition anyway, because I feel like we get over things as a people too fast. Like, we'll be outraged for like a month and then we'll be chilling like, okay, well, as long as they don't do too much. No, enough is enough. It's already been too much. I'm not saying go out and tear up stuff and fight people, even though that's how I feel inside. I'm not going to do it, and I'm not telling you to do it. And you have every right to feel that way. Sidebar, stop letting people tell you how to feel. Stop letting people, black, white, Asian, whatever, to tell you how long you should be mad or if you should be mad. And I hate this rhetoric of black lives don't matter to black people. I ain't never hurt, robbed, murdered anything from a black person, so that don't apply to me. That's just another term that racists use to dehumanize us and make us feel like, well, we'll care when y'all care. Well, remember what your mother used to tell you? If somebody gonna run and jump off the bridge, you gonna do it too? That's just another way that people use to brainwash you and try to convince you why you're not as important as you feel you are. So we're not doing that today. I'm going to post the information for the protesters so you can donate to the bills. I'm going to put the petition down here, and it's one more link. I can't think of it because I done already got sidetracked, but I'm going to put all of that at the bottom. NAACP is having a Juneteenth celebration. If you don't know, that is the day that we as African Americans, aka our ancestors who were enslaved, were actually free. Because our independence was not the 4th of July. I believe back in 1776, that was not our independence. I want to say ours was June 19, 1865. And if I'm wrong, correct me down below. I'm not trying to act like I'm a professor here. But so June 19th is typically the day a lot of African Americans celebrate, but you don't have to be African American to celebrate. It's just that was when we, as a people, our ancestors who were enslaved, were free, completely free from slavery. And the NAACP is hosting an online celebration. They already have the Zoom information on the flyer. It's also supposed to be on YouTube, I think Facebook and something else, but they don't have the information for those. And if you know of anything that people can do to where they don't have to risk getting in trouble or leaving their home, maybe they have some type of illness to where they're more susceptible to COVID because quiet as it's been kept, more cases have been discovered. I don't know how true or untrue it is, but at this point I feel like we don't need to take the chance. I'm gonna put all that in my video. I'm sorry for rambling, y'all. I'm very emotionally charged in this situation, and I'm trying to keep this video as calm and peaceful as I can. So thank y'all for watching. What else do I want to say? Yeah, that's all I got. Thank y'all for watching. I love y'all for free. Peace.